Good evening, and I'd like to welcome everyone to the May 14th, 2015 meeting of the Newmarket Conservation Commission meeting. I'd like to start with a Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please do a roll call.
Certainly. Jeff Bulldog.
Present.
Keith Faber.
Present.
Respecto.
Present.
Fry.
Present.
Fred Pearson.
Present.
Amy Burns.
Present.
Ezra Temko.
Present. Thank you, sir. And I'd like to welcome Ezra as our new planning board representative. Welcome. Happy to have some representation. It's been a few months. So there's not really public. The only public here is here for a application to use Shanda Park for a event. So if there are no objections, I'd like to move that to the meeting.
I have no objections.
Sounds good.
This is a application for use of Shanda Park by Newmarket Solutions for a after roadside cleanup picnic. So
Exactly. So my name is Nicole Benson, and I represent Newmarket Solutions. And we are having a roadside cleanup, Newmarket cleanup, this Saturday from 9 until noon. And it was highly successful last year, and we're going to do it again this year. The hope is what we're going to do differently is add a little picnic, throw some food at our volunteers for doing such a great job. And we would like to use Shanda Park as that area to give some food to some people.
Sounds good to me.
Yep,
Okay.
fine.
And for anyone interested, we'd love to have you come out. We provide gloves and trash bags and everything. And it starts at 8:30 at Crack Skulls. We can give you your assignment of where you go, and then end around 11:30 and make your way to Shanda Park to have some pulled pork and coleslaw. So.
sounds really good.
Sounds like a plan.
So I just want to make that available for everybody. So, and if you can make it only a half hour, that's good too. It doesn't have to be the whole 3 hours. So.
Yeah, and if are there specific bags that are supposed to be used? If like I'm not going to be able to be there at 9, but I might be able to do some stuff a little bit later.
Not that I'm aware of. We, I think we leave. What we do is we contact. I'm sure Tony has been in contact, and I don't know the technical aspect of that. I'm more of the picnic side of it. But from what I recall last year is we kind of just had our bags, we tied them up and left them by the roadside, and I think somebody goes around and collects them. So I'm not sure. We didn't have any colored special bags that I know of. They weren't, they weren't town bags that I know of.
Just as long as DPW probably knows which roads they're on. And stuff.
Exactly. I think we could just kind of say we were on Hersey or wherever we were, and then they kind of go through and pick up any bags that were just left. So, and tires that happen to be leaning against the bags. So, but yeah, that's what I recall us doing last year.
Excellent.
Great.
In the past, we probably wouldn't have to say this to you guys, but we just ask that people keep the park clean like they found it, and as you guys are working on cleaning up the town, I'm sure you'll probably leave it better than you found it.
We hope to. We hope to. So, thank you.
So I'll make a motion to authorize the usage of Shanda Park by Newmarket Solutions for a post-roadside cleanup picnic on May 15th.
I'll second the motion.
Further discussion?
16th, sorry.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
You can vote.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry. Wasn't sure because the planning board, the town council rep doesn't vote. And
Okay.
everyone else does. Excellent, thank you. Excellent, thank you. I'll sign this. Would it be okay? Could you make a copy and drop it off with the police department?
Yes, before Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I can, yes.
And thank you all for getting out there and cleaning up.
Absolutely.
Sadly, the roadsides need it. Today's the 14th.
We do.
Nope.
Okay, so just go bring it to you.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, so the next thing on the agenda is the approval of minutes from April 9th, 2015, and Sue sent those out via email, and Andrea did get back with some comments, and Sue has made those changes.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from April 9th, 2015.
Second?
Discussion?
I think we made the corrections already, right?
Yep.
So-
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? No abstention? Excellent.
Great job once again, Sue. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. And keep moving with the treasurer's report. Actually, those were left for us. A couple copies anyway.
Oh.
And they were also dispersed via email.
Yeah. I looked at the electronic copy.
Okay.
Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I guess so. I'll get another copy right here. Okay. Fantastic.
I'm not real sure how to interpret this yet. Well, so.
It's been 15 years and neither am I.
Okay.
I can go over with you again.
Thank you,
after
Jeff.
the meeting again, yeah.
Yeah, there was one thing, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, to me, the
What
biggest
was
thing
that?
was that there was a current use change tax, which was assessed. I'm not sure which property it was assessed on, but there was a deposit made into the conservation fund associated with that.
Okay.
It was $6,000.
Oh, yeah, the
6,500.
6,500.
6,500.
Yeah.
So I did ask about which property that was for. It was for a minor subdivision on Gonnet Drive.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So we haven't heard anything on the golf course
No, I
properties
did
and how
inquire about that as well.
That had a strange listing anyway. I'm not sure that it was in current use.
Some of it was. And the report I asked about it a few weeks ago, and it was looked into by the town clerk. And she was informed that none of the area that was under current use had been developed at this time, or no houses had been built on that area.
I deposited that check for a rain barrel. There was some question, I guess because the woman that usually does it was out, as to what account specifically it goes in. I think, Drew, she talked to you.
Yeah.
That was quite a little bit
Yeah.
ago, but-
Yeah, which is it's just Fund 40, the conservation.
Yeah, she had, I don't know, she, like all these numbers, and she was like, which one? I'm like.
Okay.
Well, we're on the subject. We've sold 2 more rain barrels and 2 turners, and for a total of $226, and the checks are enclosed in that envelope.
Okay.
Awesome.
And by the way, Sue sent someone to us, and I apologize, I've forgotten her name.
Meredith,
Yes.
I announced it at our homeowners association meeting for the
That's right.
Pacific,
Yep.
Piscasset group.
I appreciate that.
And unfortunately, they said in the minutes that they only had 2 left, so I'm going to send around a memo saying, no, we have lots left.
We have 7,
7 left.
To be exact.
Okay.
Thank you, Fred.
Yep.
That's all I had.
Excellent. Thank you, Andrew.
Yep.
Any other comments about the treasurer's report?
Nope.
Excellent. Moving along to committee and subcommittee reports. Planning board?
Sure. So the second visioning session's been scheduled, and so that's going to be on Tuesday, June 16th, from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m.
Sorry, what was that?
I'll repeat that. It's the second visioning session's Tuesday, June 16th, and it's going to be 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. They did a survey, and we actually got pretty good response to the survey, and people preferred a weekday evening. The last one was on a Saturday morning, and so this one will be more about. The first one was about kind of. They did the SWOT analysis. This one's going to be more about how do we get to where we want to go. And it'll be in the auditorium. we're also working on on the housing chapter of the master plan, and so I'm sure that once that's a little further along, this group might, I don't know how the process normally works, but this group probably wants to take a look at that because it has some implications. And then I don't know, again, if you haven't had someone in a while, that 2 meetings ago we had the Moody Point application, which was to construct some homes through a wetland there, and the update is just that they've withdrawn the application at this point, so there is no application currently for that. I think that's
Was
about-
that odd little lot thing, or was that something different? Yeah.
The rain garden? Not the rain garden.
No, so Moody Point, like up Bay Road and then out, right, and it was just, it's an undeveloped lot, but it's where, kind of the water.
Oh, yep, that's the same
drains-
thing.
okay.
Alright, okay, so they're not doing that, okay.
Yeah.
And the vision
Mhm.
workshops, that's looking at the master plan for the town, is that?
Yeah, so it'll be incorporated into the visioning statement and kind of the things from that will be incorporated into the master plan, especially into the land use planning chapter as well of that. But it's part of that process. But we're doing the housing chapter now, so it's kind of parallel to that, but the point of it is for the master plan.
Yeah. And then you'll move on to the land use portion after.
Mhm.
Excellent. Thank you. Amy?
Let's see, 2 weeks ago in town council, we had a first reading of an ordinance regarding the feeding of aquatic animals. And at the last meeting, I was actually out of town for it, but I was catching up today online. And they did pass the ordinance against the feeding of aquatic animals, so that's probably one of the, like ducks and or seagulls or whatever, anywhere on public property. So I guess the signs have been posted, but there just wasn't an ordinance.
So does
for
that
it.
mean there's a fine associated?
Yes, I
Do you know what
believe
that
there
is?
I wanna say it's $50, but I can look it up and send it to you. But I
Just
think,
curious.
yeah.
So what, I'm not trying to evade you, but what
Yeah.
would be the appropriate action if I were to go down, which I do frequently, and see people feeding the duck
Yeah.
in Shanda Park? I mean, would it be as drastic as to call the police or to just speak?
Well,
By the way, I'm on the Conservation Commission and you do see the sign.
I've tried
and-
that before it was an ordinance, and
Mhm.
people get snarky. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
They-
sure. Yeah,
it's
it
touchy.
depends. I mean, technically, it would be the police department that would enforce
They
it.
do.
But it's kind of one of those things, if they see him doing it, then it would be, I don't know if it would be an immediate fine or a warning, or it depends on the situation, I suppose. But
Would it be appropriate for the chair to speak to the chief and just say, by the way, if your patrolman happened to be there and see something like that, maybe they could say a word to the folks not to feed the ducks?
Sure, yeah.
That way, it's not something that they're dedicated to, but if they happen to be there, I've actually never seen a cruiser down there,
Yeah, I know, I haven't either,
but that doesn't mean they don't go there.
That's right.
Well,
I've
maybe
seen
now
those
that it's a
things.
thing, they'll check.
Are they gonna amend the signage that's there? Say that to reference an ordinance or anything, so that people realize?
They didn't mention that, but I can ask the town administrator about that if you like.
Just because most people won't
That'd
probably
be
realize it's an ordinance.
Good idea for,
Well,
Yeah.
if it has
put
that
the
dollar
ordinance number
amount,
and
then
the
people-
amount
Yeah, I
of the
believe I
fine.
did see a dollar amount on the, or when they discussed it, when I watched it, so. But I'll ask him, I can follow up with you.
Do you know what the motivation for that, the ordinance was? Was it all the ducks in the road?
I think it was the ducks in the road, and I don't know if there was a mess involved with so many animals being there. I'm not sure exactly what brought it to.
But one of the things
Yeah.
fish and game people that I've talked with say is that they're fed, and then when an ice is over, they have nothing to eat. They go down to Adams Point or someplace, and they don't know how to fish
Right, true.
and seek their
Right.
own natural food
Right.
stuff.
They're used to being
They
fed.
die, in other words.
Right.
There were dozens and dozens, I'm told, of ducks, mallards that died when we had that big freeze this past winter down at Adams Point area.
Oh.
A neighbor of mine happened to go down there and saw dozens and dozens of mallards that were dead. I'm
Might have been
assuming,
part of it then too.
I'm assuming it was a food thing, but that's
Yeah.
just my assumption. It doesn't mean I'm correct.
True. Yeah.
So it was worded for public lands?
Yes.
For public?
Yeah, town property. But I will ask about the signage and let you know.
It'd be interesting to see how that's enforced. The age range varies very widely.
Yes.
So those who
Right.
feed.
Right. And I think it'd be, case by case kind
Yeah.
of basis.
Yeah.
When I've spoken to people, I try to remind them that it's really not healthy for the animals, because what we as people are feeding them is not their natural food supply.
Right.
And therefore, it really isn't good for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you like to think you're doing a good thing by feeding these animals, but we're really not. And
That's the
and it's
message
important
I've
for
used.
people to try to understand that.
Yep. Fills their stomachs, but
Yeah.
they don't digest it properly and they don't get the proper nutrients.
Well,
out
I
of it.
spoke to a woman down there and
So-
she had duck feed for domesticated ducks. She said, "Oh, my sister raises ducks and this is fine." Well, still creating a population that probably wouldn't be here, but
Yeah.
she didn't care, so.
Perhaps this will help a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it will.
Yes.
Can't hurt.
Anything
Sure.
else?
No.
Thank you. Anything from anyone else? Any committees, subcommittees? The only thing that I was at Piscassic Loisel the other day, and the trail looks pretty well used. There are a couple of, I didn't go all the way around, we kind of just went up to the top. And we have a trail subcommittee, just so folks know. There is a pretty large piece of oak across the trail that people are cutting around. It would be good for us to try to remove it
Oh, okay.
at some point in the near future, but.
What's the diameter of
Oh,
that? I mean,
yeah.
do you need a
Oh, it's-
chainsaw or?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's oak, so it's relatively hard, and it's probably 16 inches in diameter.
Oh,
Oh,
manage your
Yeah,
15.
I was over there and saw
Big.
that
It's a
as
little
well.
big to.
It's big.
Yeah, it's too big to haul off. At least I couldn't. My back's kind of bad at the moment, so I couldn't haul it off. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to sit there with an axe trying to chop
A
it unless it was
decent
extremely
chainsaw.
sharp. Yeah. And folks have been cutting around, so they're and hopping the stone wall, coming back over the stone wall. You know where the large rocks come right up to the trail,
yeah.
the split, and you go around the.
Yep.
It's right there. It's one of the big ones that was on the edge of the rock. It broke and fell over, and so people go over the wall and then back over the wall. So the wall's probably going to start to get beat up a little bit.
The weekend after this is Memorial Day weekend, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that might not be a great deal.
Yeah, I don't currently have a running chainsaw.
I've got the chainsaw. It's not a problem.
Yeah, I do too.
Am I right saying that the 23rd, 24th, and 25th is Memorial Weekend,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
I think what everybody's celebrating.
Yeah.
Possibly the weekend after that?
We could take care of it probably in 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe the weekend after.
yeah, that's fine.
Then give me a call. and
Yeah.
I do have the saw, gas, oil, ready to go.
So the 30th, 31st weekend.
Yeah, I'm gonna rely on you two. Call me, okay?
But yeah, I will give you a ring.
Because I will forget by the time I get home tonight.
Side note: while I was out there, I did swing by the vernal pool up on the top of the hill, and it was very, very active. It was chock full of little swimmers everywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was absolutely full.
I think we must have been
It
too
was,
early.
it was a good transitional stage. There were everything from little tadpoles to things trying to break out of the eggs and stuff. So it was it looked really well. And somebody did go down the trail with like a small axe probably, and like nick a bunch of trees. like along the edge of the trail.
Hmm.
Which is unfortunate, nothing really bad, but it was, I noticed it really well because it was a rather warm day and the sap was coming out of a lot of the trees, but they carved a letter N into one tree, into an oak tree, and nicked a bunch of other trees. So,
Hmm.
just something to note. But other than that, it looked nice out there. Okay. Move on to the chairman's report. We received a thank you note from the children's, from Donna Chick and Rite Aid for the use of Shanda Park and the Children's Miracle Network. Basically just a thank you note. She put a personal note. Thanks so much for coming out at an unplanned meeting and to help and support this project. I didn't go to the event.
I didn't either, but I saw a little clip on YouTube.
Yeah.
Looked like there were some
Hope it
people
went
there.
well.
Yep.
Excellent. Anyone like to see the thank you note?
Sure.
The next thing on the chairman's report is a thank you note and a donation from Loco Sports for the use of Shanda Park for the Great Bay Half Marathon. They made a donation of $250 again. So thank you very much, folks at Loco Sports, for helping us out. And I'll pass the check over to Andrea.
Okay.
And I did not run in the marathon either. I don't know. Did you run, Drew?
I did.
Did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have to say, I think the half marathon does a nice job of highlighting the downtown area. I know it does cause a traffic disruption downtown, and that's certainly an issue for some people for a period of time. But I think it does do a very nice job of highlighting our downtown area, and the Shanda Park area is well used. You know, the finish line is pretty much right in front of the community church, and then people filter down towards Shanda Park and, you know, enjoy the waterway and the view, and, you know, it's very nice.
Yeah, the food pantry received a significant donation from that, with all the
good.
things people brought. It was really good.
Yeah,
A
good.
lot of soap and stuff, and people don't usually donate that.
And I know it is an inconvenience for the community church, because Main Street gets closed down in the time frame when there's generally a Sunday morning service. So it's good to hear that there was at least some benefit for the community church.
Excellent. Do they usually have a tent set up down there
Yeah.
at the park? Do they have a beer tent there?
Food.
Food tent, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. That's different. The next thing on the chairman's report was that we received a letter from the Department of Environmental Services to inform us that the town of Newmarket received the alteration of terrain permit for the work to be completed at the wastewater treatment facility. Ross Santalos was here from, which company is he from?
Wright Pierce?
Wright Pierce, that's right. Wright Pierce, and went over the alteration of terrain permit with us at a meeting 2 months ago, I believe. So they feel that they will not cause or contribute to any violations of surface water quality standards. Their design won't, and they have until April 1st of 2020 to complete their work. Anyone would like to see the permit? There's really not much to that one. The next thing I'd like to mention, I forgot to put on the agenda, is that the turtle signs, as far as I know, have been put back up on Ash Swamp. They were put back up. So, thank you to Steve Fournier and Rick Malassi and his crew
Yes.
at DPW for getting those put up pretty quickly. They were up a couple of days after I mentioned them.
I spotted one on Bay Road today, too.
Excellent.
So they must be all up.
Yeah.
I do have 2 of the signs left over. Both of them are the folding varieties. They would have to be secured, but I have them ready. I know we had talked about possibly another area that might need them. I mean, at least it was mentioned. So if it comes up,
I wonder if we should get them to replace the one, or see if they're available to replace the one out on Grant Road that went missing the one just beyond, one that's just past Wigan Farm, just past the beaver dam there.
Oh, okay.
Brown
yeah,
house.
Yeah,
Just past
well, I can,
Fox Hollow.
Yeah.
I could get them secured, I could drop it off at the town barn, if that works, if you wanna mention it to Rick. I'll get it ready next week.
Yeah, I'll mention that, and he should remember, well, or
I
about
don't
the location.
think we need to go to the expense of getting hinges, because that's kinda not happening, they're taking them down.
Yeah, they took it down.
So if it's good with everybody, I'll just use a solid piece of metal behind it, but not for, because the hinges are expensive, they're stainless steel. Why spend $20 when a $5 piece of metal might take care of it, or if I have a scrap piece of metal, that will take care of it.
It's riveted or something.
Yeah, that's what I did with the other ones.
Yeah, that makes sense, because, yeah, that, I noticed the ones by my house this year are the ones that have hinges. And
Right.
last year they didn't, so.
Well, you know, they
So
did, I
just pull
I
it
had
down.
put black tape over them.
Yeah, the black tape is over. so-
And it kinda hit them,
Yeah, that
your
makes-
eyes kind of filled that in,
Right.
and I noticed that the tape is off from this year.
On our road?
Yeah.
I thought where the turtle was, it looked like it was on one of them anyway.
Maybe-
I never see the one coming from town, from the golf course end, because I hardly ever drive that way.
I do, so that's the
Yeah.
one I noticed. I said, the tape came off, but it does the job,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
stainless, so it shouldn't rust.
Definitely still looks like a turtle.
Okay, I'll get that one ready and dropped off.
Yeah, I will, I'll probably run it by Steve again.
Sure.
Because, I don't know, when I ran by getting them back up, he must have acted extremely quick. So,
Yeah.
we also received, in the mail, a newsletter from the NHDES Drinking Water and Groundwater Bureau. I haven't had a chance to look it over, I just got it. But, looks interesting. Anybody-
I think that's a quarterly one.
Is it quarterly?
I think so.
Yeah, that's the spring 2015 issue. We also received a flyer for an annual conservation celebration, which Drew might know more about, held by the Southeast Land Trust. It's Saturday, June 6th, 2015. Not sure if you know much about it, Drew. Sure you've been to it before.
Yeah, I have been to it in the past. I think it's at the Madbury Town Hall this year.
Yep.
And they have a short business meeting, and then they have some recognitions, and then they have a series of field trips that people can go on to various properties that are conserved in the area.
Yes, they do that. Yeah, that's right. They have 5 separate field trips you can choose from. So they'll be, it's really quick. They do have a business meeting where they'll be giving away awards for conservation. And then they have a field trip to the Franklin Preserve in Dover, Rollinsford, the Harvey's Canard Hill Forest in Epping, Nottingham, Kingman Farm in Madbury, Dover, Spruce Hole in Durham, and Stonehouse Pond in Barrington. So that's some decent field trips.
Yeah. All pretty cool sites.
I think they mentioned, I guess, too, that they point out is that National Trails Day is also June 6th. Anyone like to see the flyer? And that's it for the chairman's report. So we move on to old and new business, and we've already gone over the Shanda Park usage permit. And the next thing is we received a request for funding for the 2015 Newmarket Fishing Derby. And I know in the past we've donated, I couldn't remember exactly what we donated last year, if it was 2,000 or 22.
I
Was
think
it
it was
that much?
1,500.
I was gonna say 1,500 is what sticks in my mind.
I think that's right.
Okay, that's 4 figures that we've come
I
up
know.
with, because I thought it was 2,000. And I know at one time we went up to 1,800. I thought last year was 2,000, and I
bet it's not in here at all,
I
anywhere.
don't know, I was gonna say.
If it were 2,000, I have no objection to supporting it this year. The costs rise.
I'm pretty sure it's 1,500.
15.
Yeah, that's my recollection.
I would have to dig for it at the moment to find out what it was, but I'm not opposed to 1,500 either. And
No problem.
yeah, then once again, they didn't ask for a specific dollar amount.
Will it still be at the Richardson place?
I believe so.
You know he passed away? I'm sorry.
Richmond.
Richards?
Richmond.
Richmond, I'm sorry, Richmond.
Oh,
A couple of weeks ago, I think it was.
Hmm.
Went to Pelzar in downtown when he was there. Yeah, it was sad. He was, I'd like to consider him good friends. Of conservation.
That was held there for, how many years was it held there?
Been there a long time.
I don't know, but I would agree it's a long time. Yeah, he was very faithful.
25 years,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
number like that.
probably longer, but anyway.
Could be.
You probably need a motion to make a donation to that, so I'd like to make the motion that we
Make a $1,500 to fund the fishing derby, to help fund the fishing derby, I should say.
I'll second that motion.
Further discussion?
So what is the fishing derby exactly?
It's kind of like it's a youth event where they get a bunch of fish, basically, and that's what the money goes towards, and they release them in a small pond. I personally haven't been, so somebody that's actually been
It's
many times
usually
should.
Father's Day
Could talk about
weekend,
it.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
There's a large
Father's
turnout.
Sunday.
I'd say there might be, what, 50?
kids.
Kids or so?
Well, at
And the
least-
dads and some mums come there, and there's usually, I'm gonna guess a half a dozen big fish put in there, like 2-3 pounds. It's quite an event, it's very impressive.
Most every child leaves with a trophy, a prize, a fishing trip,
Fish if they want.
guided fishing trip, and other things. So the people that put it on do a lot of work. I mean, it starts the next day trying to get donations and funding and prizes, giveaways for the participants, so it is a big deal for the kids.
Yeah.
Just to fortify what Bruce said, almost everybody, well, not almost everybody, but a lot of children leave as winners. It's a win-win sort of thing for these kids.
It's organized by the Recreation Department and supported by the local Boy Scout troop and historically the Conservation Commission.
It's a fun event.
It's a fun event, yeah. Wear safety glasses.
Amen.
There's a lot of people in close quarters with barbed hooks. Wear safety glasses.
Hat, hat,
Yeah.
ear protection. Anything you want to preserve and keep for the rest of your life, cover it.
But it's a good time.
It is.
Nothing better than having
It is.
having your kids out fishing, I don't care.
Do we have another meeting before that? I don't even know when Father's Day is.
No, I don't think.
June,
What's the 21st?
I bet it's not on this map.
Because I wish I had more specifics on it, but I don't, to announce to people, but
Doesn't say when
like
Father's
times,
Day
but
is.
It's the 21st.
they usually show it over on the board, or they have since
Yeah.
they've had it times.
Yeah, Father's Day is June 21st.
It is?
Yep.
Cool. Pittsburgh fishing. But I'm
Now he'll be
going-
in Newmarket.
Sounds good.
I haven't made a
Sounds good,
fishing
Mike.
derby. I take my son fishing myself.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
do town stuff with him. We do fishing by ourselves.
Yes, I was letting them finish the.
Out of these 38.
So, we have a second, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. So I will put together a check request after I ask Drew exactly how to go through the process.
Hmm.
Read both of them? Any questions? Oh.
The next item is that the
Yeah,
The development out on Bald Hill Road and at Bald Hill,
Go the right way.
the open space land stewardship plan was approved by the planning board. And it basically looks like the last version that we saw. And so just want to let everyone know that that did get approved.
Okay.
I think it still needs, or I think the board of the Southeast Land Trust was also going to review it and vote on approving it sometime after the planning board did, if I remember correctly. So I'm not sure of the.
Right, it was
I don't
approved by
know.
it was approved by the planning board.
Right,
Exactly.
There are additional approvals required for it to be finalized, I think. I'm not sure how those happen, when those happen.
So I drove by there, it seemed that they're doing preliminary clearing and things like that. Was there a timetable on their permit? Planning board passing? Do they have to complete that project in X amount of days, months?
I don't recall if there was a certain timeline, but yeah, I'm not sure. But I mean, I know that before they do anything kind of beyond just the general scope, like, I know there was a conversation right about clearing at the top, but there was also concerns about whether that would be good or bad. Before they do anything like that, they said that they talk with the community and check and investigate, et cetera. So, but I don't know in terms of the timeline for it. Yeah.
I mean, to finish construction of the road or to?
Well, to finish the project, you know, that's one thing we haven't had to worry about in a long time.
Like they've drawn it out for 10 years.
Well, some projects never really got finished on the developer's quarter. The town had to come in. But with the quality of who's doing it now, we haven't had to really worry about that. But it's always a concern to make sure it gets done. And I know there's access for the open space. You know, I'd like to make sure that's part of the timetable, not put off, that's all.
Well, at least that component of it was specified in
That's
the management plan.
In the
as-
plan, correct? So,
yeah,
I mean, it
as
has
something
to.
that was supposed to happen this year.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
There's a copy of that here if you want to look at it.
Sure.
Attached to the letter.
Okay.
The last thing in under old new business I wanted to mention was that we did receive 2 applications for the scholarship that we give out yearly for a natural sciences a Newmarket resident that will be entering a natural sciences program in college coming fall, and so we'll be reviewing those applications this evening.
Did you say we'd do that tonight? In the future, near future?
Reviewing them?
Yeah.
This evening, right?
Yeah.
That's all I had under new and old business.
I have a thing. Sorry I forgot to go to the invasive plant cleanup thing. Left you high and dry by yourself, apparently.
That's okay.
You weren't the
No
only
harm.
one who forgot.
I know, I got your email. I was like, oh no, poor Jess.
No harm done at all. We actually had a great day out there because we didn't have to work. We didn't work. We didn't have any weed wrenches, so it was like, well, I don't know.
Just trimming.
So we walked around quite a bit and just looked around. We were able to actually cross at the far end, the pond. You know, the pond and the snowmobile trail crosses. And there's almost there's like an old road that kind of parallels the pond on the farm side. Well, you can actually walk across the wetland now, past the end of the pond. With
There was like a path there at one
there's
time.
kind of a beaver dam there, and it's kind of just,
Oh, okay.
it's very small. I mean, it's only 6 inches or a foot tall, the beaver dam that's there, and, yeah, it's kind of, I mean, took a look at the snowmobile bridge that's there.
Still there.
Still there, still looks about exactly the same, like it's not falling apart very quick.
Darn.
But it's there. There's been some beaver activity out there, definitely, fair amount of beaver activity. which is good to see. Lots of small, lots of little warblers and migrating songbirds headed through there as well. So. It's a nice day.
Nice.
Good. There are still invasive species there to pull out.
Do we want to try to do another place or that place again or something?
From walking around out there, that place could definitely still use help. And then, I don't know, I get, personally, I get torn back and forth between going into the woods at Piscassic Loisel and trying to take care of some of the plants out there, and the spot at Wigan Farm that we work on all the time.
Are you talking about that margin at Piscassic Loisel we did last time?
No, that place I'm not so sure we can really have a lasting
No,
effect
probably not.
back under the woods towards the river there.
Oh,
But
okay.
I mean back when you go into the woods on the trail and it bends to the left, basically from that bend to the left up through to the first rocks there.
Mhm.
There's kind of just intermingled spots where there's little clusters of invasives
Right.
here
Yeah, I
and there.
noticed Barbary out there.
Yeah, where there's just like a 10-foot diameter cluster of barberry. If we
Mhm.
went in there, we might be able to clean it out and keep it from spreading throughout the forest there. There's some burning bush here and there. It's more sparse and I feel like we might be able to have a more
Yeah.
lasting impact. Obviously, invasives don't spread as quickly under the canopy. Those sorts of invasives spread that quickly. That's why it might be a decent spot to go to.
Good in the edge.
Easier than the edge at Piscassic. I mean, at Wigan Farm is a very challenging spot.
Yeah.
But we've made good progress there.
Well, do we want to try and pick a date?
If we go to remove that oak tree there, one of the 2 days, the 30th or 31st, maybe if we just pick one of those and call one of those.
Sure.
Those days don't work for me.
We can move it.
You wanna do like a phone tag or to just remind
To remind everybody? Sure.
I'm
Yeah.
just thinking,
Which-
I go to my emails about once a month.
Yeah.
And,
So which day's better, 30th or 31st?
31st is Sundays are always better for me. I have commitments almost every single Saturday morning. Unfortunately.
Sundays can be better for me also.
Okay, I could do the 31st.
That would work for me.
You want Sunday the 31st, right? Wigan?
Or Piscassic because we gotta
With
get
the
that.
chainsaw.
Because we'll get
Pick
that.
up, bring that chainsaw.
Yeah, we'll get that oak out.
Okay. Okay.
Do you want to do 9 or early?
Sure.
9 a.m.
Did you do the trailblazing over there at Piscassic Loisel?
It's been a mix over the years.
Thorough.
There's a lot. No, yeah, they were initially put up, I believe, by the Boy Scouts. While we were making the trail, they were putting
yeah.
them up, or they put them up just before.
Okay.
Yeah, there are a lot, and a lot of
I was
those
like, wow,
nails
Jeff
need
went
to-
crazy over here with these
No,
little-
yeah, I put them between on the connector trail,
Mm-hmm.
going to the trail on the Audubon property.
Yep.
There are fewer over
We
there.
never
but-
put the bridges in though, right? The footbridge, the little half logs.
Yeah,
They get
that's
put
in.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're there.
They do?
They're still
Yeah.
holding up quite well too.
Yeah.
Definitely, and a lot of the nails on those trail signs need to be backed out
Pulled
or
out a little
pulled
bit.
out and reset, or
Okay.
and where there are some missing, we could definitely move some
Yeah.
to other places.
We still have a bunch of those right now.
Yes.
And yeah, on that note, I didn't get a count. I think I took some pictures though. There are quite a few broken fence pieces now at Piscassic Loisel. There's probably like 9, maybe.
Oh, in the beginning
Is that-
fence.
I don't know if
Yeah.
anyone else has been there.
At the
Yeah.
parking
Yeah.
area.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that
right.
split rail fence.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
I think
of
there was
them.
at least 5 last fall.
And there's more.
Is that our job?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I'm not sure where we typically have gotten those pieces, or.
You know, I'm not sure.
I think there is a sign.
I wouldn't
on
trust
one
you
of the
with any of
fence
that.
posts there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There
So we
is.
can,
It's
we can
balloons
count them
stuff.
and measure them and figure it out on the 31st.
Yeah, we'll remember. When we pull in, we'll see it.
Yeah.
We don't have a choice.
I have a question for you regarding your, with the invasive species removal, and I was just thinking about this after our last meeting. And then with your water treatment testing that you were doing, I had a couple people, I mentioned it to, that were interested. They said they were gonna contact you, I don't know if they have or not, but, to help. But I was thinking that if you needed volunteers, and like I said, I haven't talked to anybody about this, but I was wondering if maybe the high school would be somewhere, maybe they'd be interested in helping with something like that. Maybe the science department would, or I don't know. It was just kind of a thought I had. I don't know if you've been down that path before or not.
I personally haven't, because usually it takes people with vehicles,
Mm-hmm.
and we start in June, so, well, for the water quality testing.
Yeah.
School's pretty much winding down to start a new project, but
Yeah,
it's something to think about, yeah.
if you need help.
Yeah, 'cause my husband said that he did it, he's done it before
Mhm.
with the science department, so.
And I know my sister-in-law in Chicago, she was a science teacher, and she did that with her kids. They tested the water in
Yeah.
the rivers in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so, anyway.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I know that in the past, we had Boy Scouts help one time that I remember with invasive species removal at Wigan Farm. But other than that, I don't know that we've gotten other outside folks that involved.
Did that work out pretty well for you?
I think, how many were there? Were a few there.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It worked.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
That sounds like a
Any,
pretty,
yeah, I mean,
pretty good
any
idea.
additional hands are a help.
Yeah, 'cause the kids have to do a service project, don't they, for high school?
At the high school. But is there anyone who we would contact at the high school?
I'll look into that.
Okay.
I'll take that on.
Jeff? So if you have a minute.
Does anyone have anything else?
Nope.
So the scholarship review is done, so this is for you. This is who we picked, so.
Excellent,
if you
thank
would
you.
do the honors.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
We did, just to mention, we had more than one applicant this year, which was good. We've had years with no applicants. And I think the high of, what, 3 or 4 in the past, so
Yep.
there's still people looking forward to it, so it's good. Still interest shown.
Thank you, Bruce. We don't typically announce it.
Nope.
I don't think so.
You get,
Speaking.
I think I wrote down that we would present it, but if it's not able to be done, they will do the presenting, right? The guidance counselor or one of the teachers will, so.
Right, it's typically presented at graduate.
Awards
Awards
night.
night,
Awards
yeah,
night,
so,
right.
and you can check with the high school on the exact timing if you.
It's a midweek thing, I can probably.
I think it's a Thursday night or something. One more Thursday night.
It's the same night as our next Conservation Commission meeting.
Oh, yeah, that
In
happened
the
last
past,
year.
in the past, I think Drew has been there to do that while we had a meeting.
Yep.
Yes, that's true. Excellent.
And I will be at awards night, since my daughter is graduating.
Excellent. Would you like to do the presentation, Drew?
Sure, I would be happy to do that.
Thank you. I will get it. I will get a
There
check.
we go.
Okay, Jeff. Yeah, you can, I don't know that, you don't have to have a check there. Usually they just have a certificate and the check is sent to the school. It has in the past anyway.
If there's nothing else, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. I guess our next meeting is
June 11th.
Thursday, June 11th at 7 p.m.